Yokai. They're considered to be part of Japanese folklore. We have a lot of abundance and variation, and that's one thing that happens with yokai all the time. There's literally tens of thousands of different names. Every community would have had it. Just people collect all kinds of kappa-related items, and as you can see, the kappa, that creature, has become a cute little creature. Yokai are always changing to meet the current moment. So yokai are not just a thing of the past, and not just a thing of the present, but a thing of the future as well.
The story is that historically, it's treated like it's a factual record. Yokai stories like this were reported as news in their time, rather than just as fantasy stories. They were printed in newspapers as accounts of actual real events. The locations in the story are real. There really are records of a man named Ino Heitaro living in Miyoshi around that time. And his tale really did travel far and wide, it seems, because there are accounts showing that large groups of tourists came from all over Japan to gawk at the site of the haunting. So many, in fact, that the little village of Miyoshi actually had to pass new laws to deal with the influx of visitors. So even though the story seems fantastic, there is actually a kernel of truth buried in it. You can see more of my yokai art in any of my books here, as well as on my Patreon page, and of course on yokai.com.
I was interested in Japanese study. Yokai as a word was something that pertained to so many different things, and I just kept going with that. It was just endlessly fascinating, and it kept unrolling in a lot of different ways.
A lot of my interest in Japan entirely just stems from illustration and artwork. I had been interested in folklore ever since I was a little kid. There was really very, very little information on yokai at that time. You've got basically a 100-year gap between Lafcadio Hearn and right now, where almost nothing about Japanese folklore was written in the English language. So that's when I sort of decided I should introduce some of these, translate and illustrate, and put my own touch on them and share them, because this is, the world of yokai is just too good to go untapped in English.